friends, it's Danny. Welcome back to Dine It Frugal, where we make quick, easy and budget-friendly recipes every week. On tonight's episode, or today's episode, it's dark outside, so I'm saying tonight, we're going to be making a very easy but incredibly tasty apple crumble. So an apple crumble is where you have a stewed apple base with a buttery crumble on top. So I actually got this recipe from the Busy Woman's Cookbook. It was published in the 1970s. I don't know if they've updated it at any point, but this is from the 70s. I got this at the op shop years ago, and I started making the apple crumble out of this, and it is absolutely delicious, and it is so simple. It only has something like 6 ingredients or something like that, but it comes together really, really fast, and it's super tasty, so that's why I make it all the time. So without me talking any more than I already have, let's go and get started and make our apple crumble. We're having it for dessert tonight, so I can't wait. Okay, so the first part of this recipe is getting our apples ready. We are going to cook our apples a little bit just to get them started. Here I have 4 cups of chopped apples. I've just roughly chopped them. That's about 4 large apples. I think I used about 6 because mine were a little on the smaller side. Okay, to that I'm going to add sugar, and this is the only part of this recipe that I have changed. I add a single clove. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me fish it out. My hands are clean, so don't worry. A single whole clove to it. So I've got my sugar, and of course the full recipe will be on my website dineitfrugal.com, so you can go over there. So I've added my cloves and my sugar, and then I have my water. So all I'm going to do with this now is take it over to the stove, and I'm going to cook it until the apples are soft, but you don't want them to be mushy. You just want to get the apples soft. So let's do that. Okay, so this is what our cooked apples look like on the stove. I've been cooking them for about between 5 and 10 minutes on medium-low heat, and the sugar is dissolved and the apples are nice and soft, but you'll see that they haven't become mushy. So I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to get started with our topping. So here we are. We've only got 4 ingredients for our topping. I have self-raising flour inside my bowl, and to that we are going to add our cinnamon and our butter. So I'm going to use my hands. My hands are clean, and I'm going to rub this butter into the flour until it looks like breadcrumbs. And it comes together fairly quickly. So you just want to smush it with your hands. All I'm doing is smushing the butter between my hands in the flour, and just working that in until it is all incorporated. So it takes a few minutes, but once we get there, we'll be able to add the rest of our ingredients. You can do it with a pastry blender. I just find my hands are the best utensil, so that's what I'm going with. All right, there we go. This is what it looks like now. It looks like breadcrumbs, you'll see. And especially with the cinnamon in there, it kind of looks like breadcrumbs too. All right, I'm gonna quickly wash my hands, and then we'll add our last ingredient. All right, so the last ingredient that we're going to add is brown sugar. And I'm just going to use a spoon just to get that all nicely incorporated. And you want to make sure that the brown sugar is mixed into the butter, flour, cinnamon mixture pretty well. Now, I love making this apple crumble. If we have guests unexpectedly, I usually have apples on hand. You can also, today something that I bought was canned pineapple, so that if I don't have apples, at least I have canned pineapple, which doesn't have any sort of flavoring in it, but I can quickly just pour that into a dish, add some sugar, add the clove, and then make this crumble and put it on top, so it can come together really, really fast. All right, I am happy with that. Let's get to assembling our apple crumble. Here I have my baking dish. Here are the apples that we have cooked down, and I'm just going to pour those straight into my baking dish. You just want to make sure that they are even on the bottom of the dish, just in an even layer. And then I'm going to just sprinkle my crumble over the top. I never think with this recipe that there is going to be enough crumble topping, but there always is. So I will tell you a funny story about when I almost poisoned my family with clove pie. I had never made apple pie before with cloves, and Matt kept asking me to put cloves inside the apple pie when I made them. So I put a tablespoon of cloves inside an apple pie once that wasn't very big and almost put my entire family to sleep. So I've had my fair share of kitchen disasters. Thankfully, I have learnt only put 1 clove per pie or per crumble or whatever you're making. So here we are with our apple crumble before it's been baked. You want to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes until the top is nice and caramelized and browned. I'm making some delicious pizza for dinner tonight, so we're going to have pizza and apple crumble for dinner. And I've just realized that I have my shelves orientated incorrectly. Alright, apple crumble is going into the oven. It'll be done in 30 minutes. Okay, so our apple crumble is ready to come out of the oven. It's bubbling on the sides. It smells absolutely amazing. So I am going to sit this here and I'm going to let this rest for, I'm going to say 10 to 15 minutes. I just want it to cool slightly and then we're going to serve it up. Alright, so I'm going to serve up our apple crumble. This is enough to serve 4 people, or 4 servings, so it'll be half tonight, half tomorrow night for us. I am just going to serve it in 2 little dessert bowls. Now, I'm not being too precious about it. I'm not serving it up in any particular way. It's going to taste good however I scoop it out of here. So that is what it looks like, all scooped into the bowl. This smell is just amazing. Okay, what I am going to do is I am also going to serve ice cream on top. You can serve it with custard, cream, on its own, ice cream, whatever tickles your fancy. I'm just doing ice cream tonight. And that's what it looks like with the ice cream on top. I'm going to go give Matt his half. I'm going to serve up some up for myself. And that's all there is to it. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen again today. I'm going to go and eat this delicious bowl of apple crumble. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this recipe. I hope you go away and make it for yourself. If I haven't said this already, you can find the full written recipe on my blog, dineitfrugal.com. And I hope to see you again for the next episode of Dine It Frugal. Have a good night, guys.